And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I like superheroes. I really do. I like reading comics. I like superhero movies. I like the whole genre. Sure, there's lots of annoyances and Marvel characters can't stay dead and so on and so forth. But for the most part, it's very entertaining to me. And it has been a sadness on my heart that there's been very few good superhero games. I mean, the only ones I can think of off the top of my head, there's the Marvel Heroes, which I enjoyed, but is kind of narrow scope. Then there is the multiplication one, which is fun, but it's more for kids than anything else. So I'm looking for a good superhero game, and I think I found one. Let me show you. It's in a small box, and I found this at Gen Con this year. It's called Sentinels of the Multiverse. And what caught my eye was, A, it's cooperative. Woo! Love cooperative. And then B, it's superheroes. Wah! Okay, now, superheroes are fun. But, like video games, there's very few good video games. And other than Hero Clicks, nothing has really taken off in the board game realm. But a cooperative hero, and this one had over 500 cards in it, that made me take a closer look. So let's. I'm showing you the box here because it's really amazing to me how they got everything in the box, and this is an instance where the box is too small because I can't get everything back in once I've bagged all my cards. But the game comes with 10 superheroes, each in their own deck. It comes with 4 villains, each with their own deck, and comes with 4 environments, each with their own deck. That is a ton of cards. But the way you're going to play the game is each player is going to pick their hero, and so they are going to take that hero, put the hero in front of them, and shuffle the deck. So let's set up. So here we have the setup. We've chosen a villain. We have Baron Blade. And we've chosen a location at the Wagner Mars base. So we put both their decks out. We also put Baron Blade's, we have his picture card out here. Shows how many hit points he has. 40 hit points to defeat him. And it shows some special abilities. It shows how to set the game up. It says to go through the deck and find, what does it say? Go through the deck and find the mobile defense platform. So we put that out here. And then we're going to shuffle the deck here. So that's out in front of him. And then we have 4 superheroes here. We have Fanatic, Visionary, Absolute Zero, and Haka. And all these cards are made to look like comic books. And I have to say, I really like the art here. It's the kind of comic book style I like. And it shows you the hit points up here. And it also shows maybe a power that they have below. So the game is very simple. First, the villain takes a turn each round. And he will turn over a card. Any special abilities on all his cards come into play. And then each hero takes a turn doing the same thing. And then the terrain will have a turn. So for example, we have this attack mobile defense platform out here. This has 10 hit points, and while this is out, Baron Blade's immune to damage. Well, that's a real pain in the neck. We have to take that out. Now I should mention here that you need some way to keep track of everyone's damage. You could use pen or paper. At Gen Con where I picked it up, there was these they were handing these out where you can keep track of hit points for the characters. But honestly, the easiest way to do it is with dice. If you have extra polyhedral dice, this is the perfect way to keep track of them. And finally, I have a reason to use a 16-sided die. So here we have this 10-sided, so I take and I give this 10 hit points, and as we hit away at it, we can reduce it. So at the beginning of his turn, he doesn't have anything that really comes into play, so we turn over another card, and it brings out an elemental redistributor, which also has 10 hit points. And it says whenever he'd be dealt fire, cold, or lightning damage, prevent all of it. And then this card will deal damage back to that person. So this is out here. Oh, come on now. We have to destroy this one before we can even touch him, and we have to destroy this one. And we have to be careful because his victory conditions, if we ever get 15 cards in the discard pile, we lose. I should mention that each of the villains also has an advanced section here, which can make it more difficult, a lot more difficult to play against them. Now, On my turn, I have a handful of cards. So I look at Fanatic's cards. Well, I don't have that many cards. But I look at her cards, and I can pick one of these cards to play. Some of them are one shot. Like, for example, Fanatic deals one target, one melee damage. You may draw a card, and she regains a hit point. So I play that, and I say, boom, I'm doing 1 damage to the mobile defense platform. And then she gets to draw another card. So that's what I can do. Or I could play, if I have something, for example, I can play Sacrosanct Martyr. This is an ongoing limited, so I can play this in front of me, and this will let me play this power, which lets me heal damage to her in the future. So once you pick whatever card you play, then you can play 1 power on any of the cards in front of you. If you don't have any, each person has a power. Like, she can do 1 melee damage and 1 radiant damage. And the reason the damages are types is because sometimes, like you can see here with Baron, some of these types he can redirect back. And so each person has different things. Some of the powers have more, some of the characters have more equipment cards that they can get out. You can never have more than one of the same card out. Some have better one-shot powers, etc. And your choices aren't really, your choices are, what cards do I play, what power do I use, and what do I attack? Do I attack these sections? Sometimes different things will come out for the bad guy. Their living force field, and sometimes minions will come out. Here comes the Blade Battalion. Are you going to take these guys out, or are you going to try to go for him? Now, in this instance, we have to destroy this first before we can get him, but most of the time you have that choice, and once we do destroy it, then what do we do? Now, with all the villains, there's a chance. Like, this guy's just a beam inventor, but if we do defeat him, and he will then flip over and become the vengeful mad scientist. And now he regains 30 hit points, and his cards will become more powerful, and he's attacking us, and it's very annoying. And so that's the way the game works. Either we go till he's defeated, or till he's defeated all of us. It's very simple, but has a very comic booky feel. So there you have it. It's easy, it's simple, and yet it's fun. Okay, this isn't some great brain-burning style game. And some people are going to say, oh, it's too simple for me. And I won't argue that there's simplicity about it, but it's fun. And what to me is so very important about it, it definitely is that comic book feel to it as you play the card. The one guy feels like an Iron Man character. Another guy feels like the Incredible Hulk, Superman style character. The Flash. Then these are their own characters, and you can shout catchphrases, and you can work together. You can say, okay, listen, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And, when this... as these event cards are turned over from the environment tech, like this one here, at the end of environment turn, destroy all equipment cards. But the players can work together to discard cards to get rid of that from this Wagner Mars base. And so there's this cooperation. We say, okay, can we get rid of cards? Okay, you attack that. Should we attack this? Or should we go straight for the bad guy? These aren't brain-burning decisions, but they're fun. And because you have 10 hero decks, because you have 4 different villains, technically 8 since each villain has an upgrade version, and 4 environment decks, so you have 8 times 4, 32 different combinations, plus 4, the combination, 10-4 combination of heroes that you can play. There's a lot of replayability in this. And even then, if I played the exact same combination, you can try it. Now, some of the villains are harder than others. The one I showed you is one of the ones they recommend for beginners. And we beat him rather handily, put him on the hardest level, and, well, I won't talk about that game. But for the most part, some heroes might work better against some villains. And they say that in the rules. And that's entertaining. The rules are written in comic book style. The theme brings this one to life for me. It's not going to win awards for game design, but neither is it a bad game. It's a good game, and it's fun, and it's very family friendly. So, as you can see, I'm very excited about this one. Like it a lot. Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.